From WCI3 Plus, with your host, Kevin Lighty, this is Behind the Forecast.
Everybody, welcome back in. I'm WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. It says so right there. You can also follow me on all of these places that you see up here on the top right part of your screen. Welcome in to another edition of Behind the Forecast. Great show ahead here for you. We're going to get to the viral videos in a bit. Later on in the show, our guest is none other than our very own meteorologist, Jacob Dickey. Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be talking to our crew, Adam, Seth, Jacob, and getting to know them a little bit better and have some fun with them here on the show. So I hope you guys stick around for that over the next several weeks. So Jacob a little bit later on, but you know how we do this. We start things out first every week with our viral videos of the week. And here we go to number 5, and we've got some flooded roads in the Texas area. This is actually down in Dallas, Texas. Boy, the weather and the traffic down there, traffic by itself is bad enough, right? And then you throw in some weather like this, and that could cause some issues there on some of the highways. Obviously, if you've ever driven in Dallas, Texas, you know what I'm talking about. So slow-moving traffic there as cars were trying to get through the flooded roads there after a lot of heavy rainfall down that way. All right, let's go to video number 4. How about this? We're going to keep it in Texas. This time a water spout swirling near Galveston, Texas this past Saturday. And boy, you can see just a thin little guy there, actually out there in the middle of the Gulf. And boy, that can be scary to see sometimes. I mean, water spout's the same thing as a tornado, except it's just over water. Little tiny guy there. And that was down in the Galveston, Texas area earlier. We're keeping things on the water here. And this is interesting. If you ever wonder what a riptide looks like from above, there it is. See that little, it almost kind of looks like dirt in the ocean. There's little riptides, and you can get stuck in those. And that's what we talk about a lot, about being careful when you're out there swimming. This is actually down in Newport Beach, California. Great place to cool off on a hot day, but always can have those dangers there when you get those little rip currents. They're hard to see when you're in the water, but when you're up above, you can really get that aerial view, that clear picture, how a swimmer can get kind of swept into that little current. Just pretty amazing. You can see on the video here, that little boat's a little lifeguard. They know things are can go bad, so they put their boats out there. But seeing just that area from above, I think it's really interesting. Gives you that perspective that you don't always get. Okay, number 2 video here this week is we go from all the water to now the fire, and this is out in California. More fires out there. Look at the intense fires there, destroying some of the buildings. This is down near Chinese Camp, California, along Highway 49 and 120. Houses there, just devastating, of course. California always the center, seemingly, of so many wildfires, a lot of dry tinder out there for those to work with, and that obviously has been an issue for them. And we even may have some of that smoke coming into our area here this week with some of the fires from Canada. We've talked about a lot about that here this summer. Well, let's try to end on a little bit more of a happier note here. And I just think it's so cool how SpaceX continues to, launch these rockets. This is a SpaceX Falcon 9 targeting the launch of 28 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. So, they have launched so many of these Starlinks, and I don't know if any of you have used Starlink before. And again, I'm not here to promote a product, but if you're in a rural area, I had some friends, I hung out with them here on Labor Day weekend, and they're out kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's no way for them to get internet, and they did have Starlink, and it worked really good. And they keep improving it when they keep launching these tiny little packages, Starlink satellites that help things out. So 14th flight for the Falcon 9 stage booster, supporting that mission there. So pretty cool stuff there that they're still doing with SpaceX and the Starlinks. All right, guys, there you go. Your viral videos here of the week from 5 to number 1. Okay, coming up, stick with us. Right over there is meteorologist Jacob Dickey, who's going to be joining us We're going to grill him. If you've ever wanted to know a lot about Jacob, we're going to talk to him about his past, how it led him back to here, and grill him on some other fun stuff as well. So stick around for much more of that. That is coming up as our Behind the Forecast show will continue here in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Behind the Forecast. I'm WCA3 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Lighty. Thanks for joining us here again. So we are to the interview portion of the show where each week we talk to someone that is in the field, but we've got a special over the next 6 weeks, and it's a little bit of a get to know your WCA3 weather team. Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be interviewing all of the WCA3 meteorologists here. You've seen them on TV, but this is going to be a little bit more of a, behind the scenes conversation. Get to know them even more than what maybe you think you already know. I know many of you watch us all the time, but I'm going to sit here. I'm going to grill them on some questions. It's going to be fun. So who did we get first? Who is on the hot seat first? Dun, da, da, da. None other than meteorologist Jacob Dickey is here.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. How about you?
This is going to be fun talking to all you guys here and grilling you on the questions. Don't worry. There's no
I
grade.
You said we were going to have wings and stuff here tonight. But then you said, come upstairs real quick.
Well, you were supposed to bring food.
I was supposed to bring them.
That's step number one. You're supposed to bring food. And here's the thing. We can't continue until we introduce who also.
That's true. I got a special guest here with me.
Hold on here.
Let's see. Vinny. Oh, come here. Say hi.
Who is this?
That is Vinny Van Dickey. He came along with me. I'm babysitting tonight. Mom's working and she's got some stuff, and so she's like, "You take him with." And I think he's pretty cute there. Vinny, you want to say hi? Come say hi to everyone. He's got his new toy here. There he is.
Let's see if we can get a 3-shot here.
3-shot in there.
Okay, there we go.
So, and I thought, Kevin, you and I rarely have enough to talk about, so we might need a little help. And
yeah, well, listen, the show, we needed the viewers to stick around, so they've got the dog, so you never know when the dog can pop in there. So how long have we had Vinny?
Yeah, Vinny, we've had him since February. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Vinny. We've had him since late February, early March. We got him, and in January, we kind of, he's trying to get that. We could just watch him for 22 minutes.
We really could.
Yeah, I thought, Kevin's gonna ask me questions. Well, he can't ask any fun questions if we're watching Vinny. Get it, Vinny. We happened to in January on our trip up to Svalbard. We kind of did our year plan. Like, what are our goals for the year? What are we thinking about? And we were like, kids, But we're like, oh well, maybe we're thinking about a dog here. And Amy had happened to have guinea pigs when I married her. When we were dating, she had some guinea pigs, and so. Kevin just made a look off camera there. I was like, yeah, what? And I kind of thought it was weird, but I tell you what, they were super fun. I really loved them, and we were like, that'd be great for kids one day. But for Vinny, we were kind of thinking, it might be time for a dog. And long story short, we had a short weekend trip to California planned, and there was a connection where Vinny was the last pup there, and he had been there for a while, and just worked out. The owner was like, yeah, sometimes it just works out when the dog's made for the right person, and then it'll just wait that way, and that's how it works out. And so it's kind of a little fun moment where it worked out very quickly that we got Vinny, and we have loved him ever since. I mean, he's so cute, isn't he? You can watch him all day.
Very cute dog. Very cute dog.
He's a lot of fun. He's got his new toy from puppy class.
There you go.
Graduated puppy school.
He's never torn anything up, has he?
Well, he had a little expensive. Yeah, stand up, Vinny, for people at home. Look, Vinny, see it. We'll get him to do some tricks later. There, yeah. He did have a little bit. He's really good. He's very well disciplined. Sometimes he gets real excited if he finds a Kleenex. He'll do that. Sometimes he will, chew on a towel. It doesn't do furniture. That's fine. But we did have one incident randomly where he actually found a cable and chewed it. And because we were like, okay, we'll ease into letting him be at home out of the crate. And that did not go well. That was a $700 vet bill later, but. Thankfully, Amy convinced me to get dog insurance for the first year at least, and I am happy I did that because that was not as expensive with that on there, but still pricey. So yeah, he's a good boy though. We actually are on the track now. He'll be in intermediate puppy school, and then he's actually likely going to be a really good candidate to be a therapy dog, and so we're excited for that. That would mean that we can take him to hospital. We could take him to schools. We could bring him here to WCI. You want to come to work with Dad all the time? Yeah, he could do that too. And then we also, with that, could, I thought, Kevin, with the line of work that we have, sometimes we have natural disasters and things of that. And just imagine the storytelling we could do with people with a dog just for some therapy, comfort dog after they've experienced some of the worst time of their life maybe. And he could be along with the story, and he's just so cute. I mean,
here I even made him a lower third. Vinny the dog.
Vinny the dog. Yeah, the weather dog. Yeah. But
well, there we go.
We'll work on that.
He's being good here. He's going to hang out here during
he'll be on the side. Every once in a while, we'll check him
during the interview here.
Yeah. Vinny's turned into a big part of our life now, so that's why.
Well, that's fantastic. So there's Vinny over there. So all right, let's get into some more because we're wanting to. I mean, I know a lot about you. Obviously, we worked together for 5 years.
It'll be 5 years this November. No, it will be
or more.
Yeah, 5 years this November. We're at just under 5 right now at this point, and so. Wow, right?
5 years.
We've been through a lot of storms. We've been through
a lot of storms. A lot of storms. That's where there he is.
Yeah, he just got a drink of water, spilled a little water. Don't tell the engineers.
Yeah, don't tell the engineers. That's fine. All right, so let's get a little bit more. I'm just going to ask the most basic kind of question that there is, and what inspired you to want to do what you do?
Yeah, so, Kevin, I'm sure when you were in school as a meteorologist, you probably heard people who had stories of storms that, inspired them to be a meteorologist and whatnot. When I did my grad school at Mississippi State, there were a number of students there that were directly involved in Katrina, and so that was what their big inspiration was. I actually can't think of a storm that necessarily inspired me. It's literally been something since I was a kid. When I was a little kid, a little baby, 2.5, I think was what Mom says, is, most kids, they're grabbing things, they're playing around with it, finagling, they've got the remote control, and I happen to get the channel changer, the remote control for the TV. Somehow pressed some buttons, and up came the Weather Channel. And my parents said from that moment on, it was never the same because I was just mesmerized staring at the TV. So I grew up, I don't know what Looney Tunes are. I don't know what any cartoons are. I just watch the Weather Channel. I know what Looney Tunes and that stuff is. But, the Weather Channel, if my parents needed me to, hey, go do something else or whatnot. I mean, it was the Weather Channel and type of thing. And the Weather Channel was great, too. I was born in 93, so mid-late 90s. I mean, that was the prime days of the Weather Channel. The good story, the good stuff. We'll leave it out what it is today. It's still the Weather Channel, but just the
it's a little different today than it used to be.
But, those local on the 8s and all that, they still do that. But I felt like it was in its glory days when growing up. So
Did you have a favorite Weather Channel meteorologist?
Actually, I might get in trouble for saying this. I remember watching Cheryl Lemke. And so, of course, she's over in Springfield now. And I always really liked her. And then I remember Dr. John Hope, actually. I really liked him. He kind of had this Mr. Rogers type of persona. He was an older guy, and he was their hurricane expert. I really liked him. And, of course, can't not love Jim Cantore. Kellyanne Cass is still over there. I remember watching her when I was younger. So there's a number of meteorologists that I remember watching and enjoying over the years. But, yeah, some of them still there. Some of them moved on, and some of them have moved on from the world. But, yeah, I think those are some of the ones that stand out to me from those days.
So, and of course, you grew up watching WCIA, being a part of it, and you're from the area. I think most people know that, but there may be some new people that are tuning in here. Talk a little bit about kind of like your early kind of days watching and how you've always kind of had WCIA in your blood.
Yeah. So the cool thing about digital is, of course, now digital's nationwide, even worldwide, so people can watch that. But over the years, TV typically has been a television market. And so I grew up in Ford County, part of the WCIA market they covered, and really enjoyed watching WCIA and watching weather. I grew up watching Judy Frazier and Robert Reese, some of the greats here at the TV station. I'm a little bit young for Mr. Roberts. Did you by chance watch Mr. Roberts, Kevin? Are we aging you?
No, I mean, it was not when I was,
Okay.
And I get the question all the time too from, I remember Mr. Roberts, and I'm like, I wish I could tell you stories about him, but I don't because that was before my time as well.
Yeah, and I remember my grandparents talking about stories of Mr. Roberts, and there's the Bement Bowlers when they got stuck at the bowling alley in the big winter storm, and Mr. Roberts was a part of the winter storm coverage in the late 70s. There's some great file video that I've come across in the vault where he pushes one of the anchors in a pool. I mean, it's great stuff. But, yeah, that's about the extent that I know besides the stories that people tell. And I didn't get the chance to watch him, but I grew up watching Judy, grew up watching Robert Reese. And Robert was around until 2012. And by then, I was a freshman in college, and I happened to be a kidcaster for Robert, much like you, Kevin, was a weather watcher for Judy Frazier. You'd log in. You probably remember that very basic webpage. You'd log in, and it was a single email, a single password, and then it was like a box. You
Dial
type
up
it.
internet.
Yeah, I mean it was good stuff. But remember just typing in reports, hoping, maybe Judy Frazier will
Maybe she'll say my name.
Yeah, say my name from Gibson City, and so that was really fun. And then with Robert was a kidcaster, and that was when I was in 5th grade. And years later, I actually came back several times on air. When I was in high school, I was heavily involved in FFA, and they had an Ag Answers segment during the 5 o'clock hour in the morning show. And every once in a while, the guy who organized that would ask me, because I was pretty in the know for what was going on in high school FFA around the area as a section president and a district officer on the state officer team. And so that kind of gave me the chance to keep in touch with Robert a little bit. And I even in my official dress one time, I couldn't tell you where that file is, if it exists, but I did the weather in the morning show once with with Robert Reese, I should say. Did the weather with him in my official dress in high school, and it was fun to connect with him and whatnot. So Robert Reese was probably the biggest reason why I wanted to be in TV weather, and I think that's the case for most anyone who grew up. Between Judy and Robert, Central Illinois' weather in the 90s and 2000s was top of the game.
We all got to grow up watching that, and the sustainability of them and how long they were here. Obviously, it's such a rare thing to be able to have. Before, though, you came here, you were in other locations. Talk a little bit about your early TV days and your first job and kind of your path to eventually get here.
Yeah, so my first internship, I'll start there, was here at WCIA. That was under Derek Faber. So we've talked 3 of the 4 chiefs that I was a part of. And then, of course, now I'm working for you, Kevin. So that's 4 out of the 5 over the history.
Worked 4 out of the 5 since we've been on the air since 1953.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty storied legacy that the station has with meteorologists. And happened to be an intern with Derek, and my undergrad is at University of Illinois. I actually was in agriculture sciences. I was going to be a high school ag and science teacher, and enjoyed that. I really did, but just kind of knew that, growing up as a kid, wanting to be a meteorologist, I thought a couple of things. One, maybe I need to get all my education done because I didn't want to go back 15 years from now and try and start over necessarily. So I thought I'll get it all done at once. And so after interning with Derek, he kind of gave me a chance. Worked out really well that fall semester 2015. That was my 9th semester at the University of Illinois, then graduated from there. I took a gap semester, moved out to Oklahoma, and my best friend happened to live in Stillwater. He went to Oklahoma State. He was the Pistol Pete mascot for Oklahoma State University, in fact. And we had met through internships in D.C. in our undergrad and through FFA. And he's like, just move out to Oklahoma. That's where all the weather happens. So I moved out there in spring of 2016, and I sent intern. Vinny's over here trying to get his toy. I don't know if you hear him. He's frantically trying to get inside that thing. And my hand's getting a little slobbery from him because he's just trying so hard to get that there. Vinny, you having fun? He's like, no, I'm not. That's all right. So I actually emailed every TV station in the Tulsa and Oklahoma City market and said, hey, I'm coming from a non-weather background, but I have a big passion for it, and I really would love to intern at your TV station. And only one actually emailed me back, and it was Damon Lane from KOC05 in Oklahoma City. He said, typically don't do it, but I thought, I came from a non-traditional background, and someone gave me a chance, so I'll give you a chance. And he's the chief there at the ABC affiliate in Oklahoma City. Worked there, and I think they were fairly impressed with me. I would go a couple days a week, and then I student taught in Stillwater to make a little side cash. And then when there was bad weather, I'd go storm chase. And I kept going and showing up to the places without talking to their lead storm chaser, Michael Armstrong. I'd show up in the same storms, and they'd see me and be like, oh, what's going on? How do you know this stuff? I'm like, I don't know, I just kind of have a whim. And did that for a semester, and then it was off to Mississippi State for grad school. And when I got to Mississippi State, my third internship was with ABC 3340 in Birmingham, Alabama. James Spann is the chief meteorologist, also with Megan Thomas. She was their morning meteorologist. She's now in the Fox station in Birmingham. And really had a great time there. I think WCIA kind of was the community connection. KOCO was a severe weather focus. And then ABC 3340 kind of gave me the connection between all of that. It's why it's important and whatnot. And so that happened to lead me to my first television job at WCBI in Columbus, Mississippi. I was there for 4 years. I loved it there. I had a fantastic time. Have a lot of great friends from that market. A lot of tornado stories from that market, Kevin. I always felt like we get storms quite often.
You get a lot of severe weather down south, man.
And here, the weather's kind of nice where, typically it's diurnally driven. We see the heating of the day. Gets to the afternoon, storms pop, they move on through, and by nighttime you're done. I mean, down there, it didn't matter what time of day it was. Morning, night, midday, early afternoon. I mean, you'd get tornadoes from a rain shower in 30 minutes, and that literally happened several times in there. And then we'd get hurricanes and remnants of storms that come on through. And so our tornado season there was January 1st through December 31st. And we say that the case here too, but it literally was that. I covered severe weather on Christmas Day, on Thanksgiving Day there, covered it in July from a hurricane, I mean, all over. But I loved it there and learned so much about weather in that market. And I left that job in March of 2020. If you're good with the calendar, Kevin, do you know what happened in March 2020?
I believe there was a thing called COVID?
COVID, that's right, yes. And actually left March 1st from that. My contract was up. And I think in February, if you were paying attention, you kind of knew something was coming, but nobody really knew what it looked like or what it would do or how it would affect things. And so I kind of was like, I'm graduating in May, or I thought I was. Was going to defend my thesis in late March, and then I'll be ready to go to a job somewhere else. And long story short, COVID happened. I couldn't defend my thesis, and then I had to redo all of that process. I finally finished that in the fall of 2020 after a brief stint at KSW in Southwest Oklahoma. Was there for 4 months, and the news director here at the time, Rich Flesh, he called just randomly out of the blue, and he said, "You want to come home? You want to come work?" I was like, "Isn't the chief Kevin Lighty?"
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But no, that was a huge opportunity. And I literally don't think, Kevin, that if COVID wasn't a thing, I don't think I would have come home because they were basically setting me up to be the chief meteorologist down in Southwest Oklahoma. And that's a weather mecca down there. That's a big weather market. But just the way God works and the way the world works there just made sense to come home. And I started on November 17th, 2020. And Jack Gerfin helped me pick that exact date. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to come home on a pretty important date, Kevin." Of course, you know what happens. The anniversary is of November 17th, don't you?
November 17th?
Yes. Do you know what the anniversary of that date is?
What was November?
That's the Gifford tornado day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Jack Gerfin and I would joke, "Oh, when's Jacob Dickey going to hit my house?" Because decided to come home on that day.
Okay.
That also happened.
2013.
Yeah, that also happened to give the station down there 60 days heads up that I was leaving because I negotiated that in because I didn't want to leave in bad faith down there, and I loved that job. I would have seen myself down there for years and years, I think, in that TV market. But funny thing how the Lord works, and funny it carried me back here. And then, long story short, I got married, and then here we are 5 years later with a dog.
With a dog?
Yeah. Vinny's hanging out. Vinny, say hi to the camera. He's still trying to get. This is what he's going after. There's a couple of.
Oh, is there snacks in there?
There are in there. So he's trying to get those out and having the darndest time doing that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to touch on the subject real quick because we're actually getting low on time for this part one. But again, there's going to be a second part. We're going to talk even more. But one thing that you are passionate about, you do a lot of, and you've done for our station a lot, is storm chasing.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about kind of like how you got into that and how that's really become a big part of what you do for us here?
Yeah, so I got into that because Kevin told me to.
Why did you chase before you came here?
I did, yeah. So I've grown up, and you just tell me if I need to wrap, too, with time and whatnot.
Yeah, about 2 minutes. About 2 minutes. Let's give you a good 2 minutes here.
Again, if I talk a lot, then I filibuster. Now, you can't ask me the tough questions. Is that how that works? Or is that what part two is for?
That is what that's what part two is all about.
Part two, okay. Yeah, so I remember as a kid, I kept saying, "Hey, Dad, I want to go storm chase in the edge of town. Let's just go out the edge of town and watch the storms." He kept saying, "No, your mom would say no. No, your mom would say no." And finally, 6-year-old me was like, "Well, did you ask her?" And he was kind of like, "Oh." So we asked my mom, and she actually said yes. And I asked my mom later, I said, "Was that the scariest yes that you ever asked?" And she's like, "At the time, I didn't realize it, but definitely." But she also knows that, I know my stuff, and I'm safe out there. But with Dad growing up, we used to chase locally. And then over time, it expanded. We went to Oklahoma together for the first time in 2013. Baxter Springs, Kappa, Oklahoma, Baxter Springs, Kansas actually had a tornado the time we went there, and we saw that one from a distance. And then since then, it's just been, I could sit in a classroom or I could sit in an office all day, Kevin, and that just kind of bores me. Like, I got to get out and see stuff there. I really enjoy that aspect, but I also know the importance of it too, because it shows our viewers what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both definitely subscribe to the whole marrying of what you learn in a textbook with what you see out in the field and the combining the two, and it just helps you become a more rounded television meteorologist during severe weather, that's for sure. So, okay, so as I mentioned, guys, we're going to do 2 parts here because we barely scratched the surface. We got to know them a little bit, but we've got some fun rapid fire questions.
Oh,
we're gonna
boy. All right.
We're gonna fire off at him in part 2 of this coming up on next week's
And then part
show.
3, I'm asking Kevin questions.
I know, right? Exactly. We'll have to see what happens after we get through Adam and Seth here. But okay, so unfortunately, though, again, this is only a 30-minute show, and so we are towards the end of our time here. But come back again next week. We'll talk to Jacob some more about things, and
Maybe we'll bring Vinny.
how about Vinny? Is he still over there?
Maybe I'll do a trick next week too. Anything for the viewers, right? Anything for the ratings.
Yeah, anything for the ratings there. He definitely helped to drive them, at least to keep them around, hopefully here through the first part of the show. There's a treat.
He gets a little snack.
All right, there for Vinny and Jacob.
Come away.
Say bye for now, bud. Bye for now.
See ya.
Bye for now. See you later. We'll be back for part 2 with meteorologist Jacob Dickey next week, and Vinny as well. So come and join us then. But that does it for Behind the Forecast. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week.